You're standing right at the edge of a choice that will redirect the next phase of your life. There's something you've been sensing for weeks now, a shift in energy, a push from the universe, a sign that keeps repeating. And even though part of you wants to move forward, another part of you is afraid of choosing something that changes too much too soon. Before you take that step, Spirit wants to show you what's really happening beneath the surface of your emotions, because your next decision carries long-term consequences in a way you don't yet see. Hi, it's Ira. Let's look at what your energy is preparing you for, Cancer, because your heart is speaking louder than your mind right now. And if you don't listen to it carefully, you might choose based on temporary emotion instead of long-term alignment. This reading will help you see the truth that's been trying to reach you. The first card is the Moon, which is such a powerful reflection of your inner landscape right now. This shows that your decision is wrapped in emotional fog, mixed signals, hidden motives, and fears that exaggerate possibilities. The Moon is telling you that your intuition is active, but your fear is interfering with it. There's something you're sensing, but you're not sure whether it's instinct or anxiety. This card reveals that your emotional body is trying to warn you about something beneath the surface that you haven't fully identified yet. It also shows that you may be dealing with someone who isn't expressing the full truth, not necessarily lying, but withholding, avoiding, or staying vague. That uncertainty is affecting how you see the situation. But the Moon also reminds you that clarity isn't found by forcing an answer. It comes from observing the emotional reactions the situation triggers in you. The hesitation you feel is not a mistake, it's information. The next energy comes through as the King of Cups. This shows that you are gaining emotional mastery through this decision. You've grown past reacting impulsively or choosing based on fear of loss. The King of Cups shows that the universe is asking you to stay steady, grounded, and emotionally mature while you evaluate this moment. Someone around you might be influencing your emotions, a figure who appears calm, stable, or emotionally persuasive. But you need to separate their influence from your inner truth. This card also reveals a part of you that's trying to protect everyone else's feelings. You might be delaying your decision because you're worried about disappointing someone. But the King of Cups reminds you that protecting your peace is not selfish. In fact, the most emotionally mature choice is the one that centers your well-being, not your guilt. The third card is the Two of Swords, showing that the hesitation you feel is not indecision, it's self-protection. You're not confused, you're cautious. This card reveals that you've been carrying conflicting truths inside you, and instead of choosing one, you've been trying to maintain balance between both. The Two of Swords shows that you've been avoiding the emotional consequences of the choice, rather than the choice itself. It also shows that you're scared of choosing something that removes stability or predictability. But here's the truth. The longer you stall, the louder the pressure becomes. This card is not telling you to pick fast, it's telling you to pick honestly. The answer isn't outside you, it's already forming inside you, but it needs space to rise without fear controlling it. The fourth card is the Ten of Wands, showing emotional overload. You've been carrying too much. Responsibility, fear of hurting someone, pressure to be strong, expectations that aren't yours. This card shows that the decision you're facing isn't actually difficult. It only feels difficult because of the emotional weight tied to it. You've been trying to manage everything by yourself without admitting how exhausted you really are. The Ten of Wands is telling you that the moment you choose what supports you, not what drains you, the weight you're carrying breaks apart. This card also shows that part of the heaviness is coming from a belief that you must suffer through difficulty instead of releasing it. The universe is showing you that your next step should reduce your burden, not add to it. Before we continue, if you want your full personalized 2026 forecast, month-by-month themes, warnings, breakthroughs, and opportunities, I've opened a detailed reading for $155. It will show exactly how your decisions shape next year. The next card is the Knight of Cups, bringing in emotional renewal. This shows that once you release the emotional burden tied to your decision, a new pathway opens. Softer, lighter, more aligned. The Knight of Cups reveals a new offer, opportunity, or emotional experience entering your space. This could be someone expressing their feelings, a creative direction unfolding, or a positive shift in your personal life that brings you back into emotional flow. This card also shows your next step should come from inspiration, not fear. You're being asked to choose what feels emotionally enriching, not what feels safe but suffocating. The Knight of Cups reminds you that your heart wants to move again, and it's ready. The sixth energy comes through as the Four of Pentacles, showing that fear of loss is interfering with your clarity. You might be holding on to something, a job, relationship, habit, identity, or pattern, because you're afraid of what happens if you let go. This card shows you're gripping tightly even though part of you knows it's time to loosen the hold. But the Four of Pentacles also reminds you that caution isn't the enemy, attachment is. This energy shows that the real question isn't what should I choose, but what am I afraid of losing if I choose differently? When you answer that honestly, your path becomes unmistakably clear. The seventh card is the Queen of Swords, and this is where your clarity arrives. This card shows that your next decision needs to be made from logic, truth, and boundaries, not emotional obligation. The Queen of Swords cuts through confusion with one truth. What aligns with your peace stays. What doesn't must be released. You're being guided to think long-term, not emotionally. This card also shows a moment of empowerment, where you stop entertaining mixed signals, stop making excuses for others, and finally listen to your own clarity. And once you reach that moment, the decision becomes surprisingly easy. If this message helps you so far, like this video so more Cancers can find it exactly when they need it. The final card is the Wheel of Fortune, showing that your next decision shifts the timeline of your life. Fate moves quickly after you choose. The wheel brings new opportunities, new blessings, and a new cycle that begins the moment you honor your truth. This shows divine timing, a turning point you cannot avoid, only delay. This card confirms that the universe is already preparing your next chapter. It's waiting for you to claim it. Your affirmation: I choose the path that restores my peace, protects my energy, and aligns me with the future meant for me.